It is always great having on the Killer Gorilla, Jared Cannonier, back here on the program. He's got a huge fight coming up against Derek Brunson, UFC 271, February 12th. Jared, how are you, man?
I'm good, James. I've been good. Staying busy, staying in the gym. So I am, working on myself as always, trying to be the best that I know that I am. So here we go again.
Yeah, well, it has worked out for you. Like I mentioned, big fight here, UFC 271. Now, I know initially this fight was supposed to take place next Saturday on the UFC 270 card. Was there any reason you were given as to why it was moved? I know there's a middleweight title fight. Maybe that's a reason, but did you ever get a reason?
No, I didn't get a clear-cut reason, but my assumption will be to have us as like a potential stand-in if anything were happening with that main event. Me specifically. That maybe it would just make for a better story for the card. We got the championship fight on the line, and you had a number one contenders fight as well for that very belt. So I don't know.
Yeah, and has the UFC actually told you that, or that's just your assumption, like in terms of you potentially being a backup for the title fight?
Well, no, that's what me and my manager talked about as far as making the switch.
Mm-hmm.
That if anything were happen, that I will be, available to stand in. That and the other part was just my own assumption.
Right. Okay. No. I think it makes a lot of sense. So that means you'll probably have to make the championship weight, right? So I don't know if that makes a difference for this fight or not, but obviously if you got to make the weight if you do become a backup, right?
Right. But I always make 184. Yeah. So that's going to be as business as usual.
Yeah, no, I was going to say you're all good by that. And correct me if I'm wrong, you're on a new contract now, right? I think that this is the first fight on the new one, or what's the latest with that?
This is the first fight on the new contract. So I think this is another six fight contract. So that's pretty good. I'm happy with it, and it's a really good contract. And not to mention that I'm really close to getting the title, which could potentially mean renegotiating and all that good stuff that goes along with that.
Yeah, and that must be nice just to get that all out of the way. Something I know you mentioned to Submission Radio when you had your interview with them is that, the whole comments you had about fighter pay kind of gotten taken out of context. Now you don't have to worry about it because the contract's signed. You can just focus on the fight, right?
Whenever you have a contract, that's all you do is focus on the fight. Again, money don't last forever. So, one fight at a time. So I'm going to get this fight, make good on this fight, get the next one, do it all over again, and keep working my way to that position that I want to be in.
Let's talk about Derek Brunson, 23-7 record, outstanding, skill set, well-rounded fighter. How do you look at this fight from a style perspective, as far as what you bring to the table, as far as what he brings?
I think stylistically, we've all heard that whole moniker striker versus grapplers thing, and it's a prevalent aspect of this fight. His only means of victory is to impose his wrestling. Of course he's got that power. He's got that long lunging left hand that we were all accustomed to seeing and stuff like that. So, and he's got that ground and pound as well. But I think one thing leads to the other. I think it's always going to lead to his wrestling, and especially when he fights me, it's going to have to be, that's it. You're going to have to wrestle if you want to win the fight with me. But that's going to be hard. That's going to be a hard mountain to climb, especially with the fact that I know that he's going to have to wrestle me. What do you think we're going to be doing here at the lab, every day in, day out? You think we're just going to be, twiddling our thumbs, waiting for the date to come? No, we're working. We're working on, what's he's going to bring to the table. So I think the game plan we're formulating is great. I feel like we're already ahead of schedule as far as implementing the skills, the tactics, the ability to do. So, the outlook is bleak for Derek Brunson as far as I'm concerned.
We hear people, fans mainly, talking about this blonde Brunson thing. I'm sure you've heard of this, that since he's dyed his hair, he's become sort of a new persona, new fighter. Do you buy into that, or do you just think it's kind of funny that people talk about that?
I mean, it's a gimmick, Good for him. He's found another gimmick that keeps him relevant for a little while longer. Mm-hmm. But that shit is irrelevant to me, Mm-hmm. Those are all antics, and that has absolutely fuck all to do with me whooping your ass. So,
There you go. Okay.
So that's it.
That's it. Who did the blonde hairstyle better, him or Simon Phoenix? Have you seen the movie with whatchamacallit, Sylvester Stallone? You know which one I'm talking about? Demolition Man, exactly.
You know Simon Phoenix did. Wesley Snipes is the man. So, yeah, Simon Phoenix did it best.
Okay, so, glad we confirmed that.
Yeah.
Love it, man. You talked about the wrestling and how, you know, obviously you're training everything at the MMA Lab. Has there been more of a focus on wrestling, or is it just you're doing your normal stuff that you would normally do going into a fight?
This is just normal stuff. For me, when fight camp starts, I don't change much of anything. I don't like go here or go there and do this more or do that less. You know what I'm saying? For me, life is fight camp. You know what I'm saying? Life is a battle. So that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm preparing for. That ultimate boss battle at the end of this thing. Derek Brunson is just, you know, a part of the stage, a checkpoint, if you will. So, yeah, we're focusing on what he brings to the table. We're absolutely not overlooking this guy. As with anybody who's smart, who's a professional. So, yes, we are preparing for Derek Brunson. His wrestling is about the best chance he has of beating me. But that's just on paper. You know, for me, in actuality, I don't think he has a chance. I think his wrestling will only take away the aspect that I would need, you know, the fact that I would need to get close to you just to knock you the fuck out. You come wrestle me, we're right here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to start working. I'm going to put my weight on him. I'm going to put my muscle. I feel like I'm stronger than him. I feel like I'm faster than him. I just feel like I'm a better fighter. Not just to him, but to all these guys in the world.
And kind of on that note, how much do you feel like your power, just the you know, the punch you pack, will play a role in this fight? Because I think you could make the argument you hit the hardest out of anyone in that division.
It's definitely an impact. It's definitely going to be a factor. So, I mean, but that's not the only factor. That's the thing, you know. I'm not just strong. You know what I'm saying? I'm fast. And I'm not just strong and fast. I'm also smart. And I'm not just strong, fast, and smart, but I got some skills and some experience as well. So, and not only that, but I got a good-ass team behind me. So, you know, again, we're in the lab, mixing chemicals, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. We're coming up with the most volatile reactions. We're going to throw it at Derek Brunson.
Let's talk about camp. Who have been some of the main guys you've been working with leading into this fight?
My team, the MMA Lab, you know. We don't do like, Jared, you come in, you got a camp, you come in, we're going to have these guys come in to train with you. No. We have team practice. Everybody shows up at this time. This is what we're working on. Everybody grabs a partner. You know, we got, you know, size discrepancies, but we got variations in that as well. So that's the program. So I work with the team at the MMA Lab. If you want to know who's there, you know what I'm saying, open your eyes. If you don't know who's at the MMA Lab, then y'all need to open your eyes, because, you know, it's going to be 2022 is going to blow. We're going to blow this thing wide open. And then going forward, it's just going to,
And look on the website, see some of the names on there. I'll throw a name out there at you. I don't know how much you train with him, but Jakar Close being back at the lab, how much of a boost has that been for the team? Because I know he was very well respected even when he left, and now coming back, I've just heard nothing but positivity about him being back and reuniting with John Crouch.
No, absolutely. Jakar is he's always been a really good teammate. He was a part of the team when Benson was on his march through the UFC, you know what I'm saying, through that light of greatness, you know. So, and as for me personally, he's been a big help, especially sparring rounds with him. That dude he's like a locomotive, you know what I'm saying? He fights at 55, but the dude is a tank, you know what I'm saying? He's real good pressure, real good tempo fighter. He's just a really good fighter, real good energy for me to be able to build myself with, you know what I'm saying? So Jakar is a really good training partner. I really love having him and Courtney, as well as Brett back in the room. Always good energy. So it's definitely a blessing to have those guys back.
It's awesome to hear. I know you feel like you're going to get your hand raised on February 12th. How do you envision the fight playing out?
I envision the ref saying go. We walk up in there. Maybe we shake hands, maybe we don't. But I'm going to create some sort of action, create some energy, some momentum, put myself in position and land my right hand.
Love it. That's awesome.
He won't be able to withstand it.
And obviously got to ask about the main event with Adesanya and Whittaker. Do you see Adesanya repeating, history, what he did in the first fight, or do you think Whittaker can be the guy to dethrone him?
Yes, and yes, man. The possibilities are endless with these two. So I'd be leaning more towards Izzy, based off of what he did last time. But that's happened, what, 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
A year and a half ago? Whenever that shit happened. I'm sure Robert's a different fighter from then. And so, yeah. But I'm going to be watching it, so who knows?
Yeah, no, for sure. I like the honesty, man. That's one of the things I love about interviewing you. What you see is what you get. You don't sugarcoat it. So always enjoy that, man. And I know I've asked you this before, but it's even more prevalent now. Let's say Adesanya does win. You and Adesanya, that's a fight a lot of people want to see. It's a fresh matchup. How do you look at that fight in terms of you squaring off with him? Because like I mentioned, you hit like a truck, man. I think that's what's really intriguing about that fight.
I look at that fight the same way I look at every other fight. I'm going to look at it with an analytical eye, with an intellectual mind. And I'm going to go at it with a strong fist, and fast feet. So, like anybody else, I'm going to prepare as best I can for the opponent in front of me, and I'm going to be as strong and as fast, and I'm going to be of the right mind when the ref says go. So that's how nobody beats me.
And I don't know if I've asked you this before, but do you pay attention to other fights in your division? Like, for example, I think the week before you, there's that Sean Strickland and Jack Hermansson fight. You fought Jack. Is that a fight you'll be watching?
Yes, I watch all the fights. I just watch fights in general,
Okay.
So, but yes, I'm definitely intrigued, interested. I'll definitely catch the middleweight fights, all of them, ranked or non-ranked. And yes, I'm aware that Sean Strickland and Jack Hermansson are fighting. And that's an intriguing matchup. Sean Strickland has been coming in hot, right? Mm-hmm. And he's got the personality to match. The dude's been getting on the mic, and I'm actually entertained by watching how authentic this guy is on the camera. So, I'm a fan. I'm saying? I like watching him. And I'm also a fan of Jack. That's Jack. I'm saying? Yeah, we fought before, and I'm glad I won. But I know Jack wants to come back, and wants to get back into it, wants to get back at it, and get as close to that title and grab a hold of that title and keep it for a long time, the same as all of us. But that's going to be a fun fight to watch, and I'm interested to see how that goes.
Do you give Strickland the edge in that fight just because of the momentum he's had after beating Uriah Hall?
I don't know. Jack won his last fight pretty handily, right? Who did he fight?
He fought Edmund Shabazian, yeah.
Oh, he fought. Oh, I'm going to have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, watch that first round, actually. It was pretty competitive the first round, and then Jack sort of took over after that. It was only 3 rounds.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go back and watch that one.
No worries. See, this is why I like the honesty. And then that's something I was actually going to ask because, you talked about liking Strickland. And I figured, because, again, you guys are both pretty honest guys. Is that what you really like about him is the authenticity that, he's not going to be a different guy when you talk to him behind closed doors as opposed to social media-wise? Is that really why you like him?
That's absolutely why. I don't like having to figure you out, and you know what I'm saying? Be who you are. If you're not being honest with me, you're definitely not being honest with yourself. You're just putting on another face. You're hiding your true self. And I don't trust that. I don't trust somebody who's hiding their true selves. You know what I'm saying? If you've done something bad, you know what I'm saying? That's shadow work that needs to be done within that individual so that they can come out and be their authentic self, so they can love themselves in front of the world. You know what I'm saying? Without having to hide this part of me or hide that part of me. So, yeah, I really do appreciate that in people. The world needs more of that. You know what I'm saying? We've been living in this Dionysus sort of themed thing, you know what I'm saying, with the social media and the media in general. And people just put on faces. They put on masks whenever they go in front of a camera or in front of other people, you know what I'm saying? And I find it hard to trust that. So one thing I will trust is someone who's going to be themselves in front of me, whether you're going to be my friend or my enemy. I want to know who you are and what's your intent here so that we can, you know what I'm saying? So we can find a way to benefit from it, right?
Yeah.
If you're trying to be a dickhole and asshole, we'll just separate. And the benefit will be I won't have to deal with your stress. You won't have to deal with mine. We won't have to clash. I won't have to put you away. You feel me?
Yeah.
Or
no, I totally
hear you. Come together, you know what I'm saying? We can make, you can make some jokes together. We can make some food. We can make some money or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We can have a good match. We can get some sparring on. We can get some good training in. You feel me?
Yeah, totally, man.
But,
I like it. I like it. That's it. We could do a podcast on that in itself. Authenticity and how it's been lost in the social media age, right? Everyone's got an avatar. They're not their real self. So yeah, I'm with you there. Just wanted to mention another name in your division. I think he's still in your division. Paulo Costa, someone you were supposed to fight. What did you make of him fighting Vettori? And then midway through the week, he's like, by the way, we're going to do this at light heavyweight. What did you think of that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. My opinion, which is irrelevant, but I'll give it anyway. Is that that's just a show of unprofessionalism, if you will. He probably knew he wasn't going to make weight, and I don't know. I can't even, to be honest, I can't even explain what he was thinking, what his team was thinking, and what they were going through. It was definitely weird. It was unprofessional, and I would have been frustrated to be in that position. But Vettori, handled it like a champ, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Went on and got that victory. And I think didn't he go on to get a title shot after that? Or was it before? I can't remember. Either way.
No, Vettori, yeah, he did. He did end up getting a title shot off that. And I think it was partly, I mean, aside from the winning streak, I think it was also that, look, he said, I'll do it. It's okay. I'll fight him at 205. And the UFC was kind of like, okay, well, thanks for doing us a solid, right? Because that was a main event. I think if that wasn't a main event, maybe that fight doesn't happen, right? So you never know.
If it wasn't the main event, I wouldn't have did it if it wasn't the main event, but
yeah. No, I hear you on that. It looks like Costa's going to probably fight at 205 next. We'll see, because obviously with that whole thing that happened this week, that might happen. I know you're close to a title shot here, but have you ever thought in the future maybe going back to 205, or do you think you'll finish your career at 185?
Very seldom does a thought cross my mind, but the prospect of it happening is still there. I would prefer doing it, for the champ title type stuff like that. Not just going up there to have any old fight. Unless I'm getting paid some big money, you know what I'm saying? But which I'm getting paid pretty good right now, but still. But yeah, that'll be the preferred scenario of doing that. Not to say that it's not an option. Let's say something happens and they need it's a high profile opponent and they need, saying someone of the same caliber who's willing to step in. And I'm down and I'm crazy like the Cowboy or any of these other guys. And they offer me a bonus on top of it, we can talk some business then. But for a one-time thing like that, you feel me? So give me a bonus. I'll take a bonus, a gratuity bonus, if you will. I don't know how they do that, but I'd be willing to stretch my wings.
Yeah, another Wesley Snipes character. Money talks, right? You know who I'm talking about. There we go. So I know exactly what you're talking about there. Just one last question. A guy that we were talking about moving up weight classes and stuff. A guy that has bounced around. Khamzat Chimaev. Just your thoughts on what he's been able to do. I know he's at 170 now, but there's some talk that he might move up in the future again to fight at 185. What are your thoughts on him as a fighter?
Hot prospect right now, right?
Yeah.
Dana's pretty hot on him. And from what he's shown in the octagon, the dude looks like, dude looks like the second coming of Conor McGregor. But he's from Sweden, but I don't know what he's Russian, Dagestani or something like that.
Dagestani, yeah, lives in Sweden. Yeah,
like the coming, whatever. But I don't even like to make that comparison because he is his own self. He is his own man, and he's doing his own thing. So. I tip my hat to him, man. He's doing a good job, and shit.
There you go. Okay, no, again, I like the honesty here. I like the honesty, right?
Now, if he comes up to 85, that'd be cool too. You know what I'm saying? More the merrier. That's all. As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. No, it adds a bit to the division. I did notice on your Instagram, I know you work with Thrival muscle recovery, which is kind of like something you use, before you go train and stuff. And I use something similar to that as well when I'm going to work out and stuff. How much of a game changer is that? Is that something you've been aware of a while, as far as doing like the foam roller or the Thrival stuff where you're really getting that fascia all worked out before you go do a workout, right? It's pretty beneficial.
It's really very beneficial. I really like that Thrival muscle recovery release board. It's got the adjustable parts. It's got the interchangeable parts. So I use it before, after. If I just need to stretch and open up my body, I'll get on it. There's so many different ways of using it. I'm still learning different ways of using it. Trying out different combinations, different variations in the width and and the spacing of the components. So I really love this thing. I'm glad I found it, and it's definitely it's an integral part of this camp. So it's keeping my back and legs and body, all those parts of my body that are hard to reach, especially keeping those really primed and ready to get moving again.
Yeah, and that stuff's important as you get older. I'm the same way. I have to use it even. I'm not even punching people in the face for a living, but I know it's really helped with the stretching and all that too, especially just flexibility and all that. So just wanted to throw that in there. But Jared, thanks so much for doing this, man. We can't wait for this fight. UFC 271, February 12th. Anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to plug, I'll give you the last word.
Again, Thrival. Shout out to Thrival for being a part of the team.
Yeah.
Vice versa, for allowing me to be a part of you guys' team as well. Again, I really love carrying this thing around and using it before, like you said, before practices. It makes you feel easy. It makes it easier to really get into your workouts instead of having to break through all those cobwebs that us old people get. And especially afterwards, that bringing those muscles back into that into a calm state, you know what I'm saying? Working that fascia loose and just stretching out the body as well. I think is very important. So that Thrival, I use that a lot in all those regards. I want to shout out to Ice Barrel for hooking me up with that ice barrel. Ice baths aren't my forte. They aren't really my favorite. But
even coming from Alaska, I figured you would be used to the cold. No?
No, man, shit. We had heating up there in Alaska.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not from Alaska. I'm from Texas.
You're originally from Texas, but you lived in Alaska. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. Yeah.
Yeah, but ice bath therapy is integral, especially for high level athletics and stuff like that. So, shout out to Ice Barrel, shout out to Thrival. And shout out to MMA Lab. Last but not least, the MMA Lab. You know what I'm saying? We are, the grind never stops there. The wheel keeps moving. And I just jumped in, hopped on, and I'm hanging on for as long as I can. So this is one hell of a ride.
Make sure to subscribe to the Low Kick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.